Hi, this is Ted Queen, and the following are the rules for the board game Constellation Quest. A game for 2 to 4 players, takes about 90 minutes, and for approximately ages 8 and above. Fly your ship around the board, get missions at Starbase bars, upgrade your ship components at the shipyards, have the most acclaim points at the end of the game to win and be declared the most renowned space captain. Acclaim points are earned by completing missions. Here's a typical mission card, and the top part says what you have to do. This part says the payment, and then on the bottom right is the number of acclaim points. Refer to the instruction manuals. The suggested starting matrix tells you how many upgrade components and mission cards should be used depending on the number of players that are playing. We're going to show a setup for 3 players, so you'll have 20 mission cards. Take the rest of the mission cards out of play randomly. You'll have 1 each of the blue upgrades at the shipyards and 1 each of the red upgrades at the shipyards. So all the other upgrade components should be removed from the game's play as well. So here's the shipyard. We've got one of each of the blue upgrades, 1 of each of the red upgrades. Here's also how to set up the black market. 1 each of the blue upgrades, and all of the single-use items are filled in. Shuffle the 20 mission cards. Shuffle the Scoundrel's Den cards. We need to decide at this time if we're going to use the pilot chips. We also need to decide if we're going to use the wormholes, which are one of the hexes on some of the hexes on the board. Now each player that's playing will sit around the game board and pick a color of ship. So we've got a red ship, a green ship, and a yellow ship playing this time. And each one of those players will take their 6, 8, and 10-sided dice in their color, their ship token for the board, their colored gem, which is a destination marker, 40 space credits, and then they will also fill up their current armor status area of their ship with these, which are indicate 3 armors. These are the little blue blocks are 1, so everyone should start with 6 armor. Each player will now place their colored wooden token at the edge of the game board at the starting location corresponding to their color. There's the yellow one, there's the red one, and you'll note that each one of the starting locations is 6 hexes away from one of the bar locations. Roll to see who goes first. In this instance, red would go first because the 0 on the 10-sided dice is actually 10, not 0. So, at the beginning of the game, no one has any engine upgrades on their ship, so everyone will roll the 6-sided dice in order to move. So here's the red guy. The most logical thing to do at the beginning of the game is to go to a mission, one of the bars to get a mission. So here's how you could use your little gem. You probably wouldn't use it at this point, but it's optional to use, and it doesn't really. It's just a marker, so you don't forget where you're trying to go. So the red guy would roll the red dice, 6-sided, go 2, Now it would be the yellow guy's turn. He would go, oops, he starts here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the green guy would go, and then the red guy would get to go again. He gets 2. Let's see. Now it's the yellow guy's turn. He gets 2. He would have enough to get there. So you have to actually have enough movement points to land on this green symbol hex here with the, you could look at it as a glass or 2 faces. Any additional movement points, say you'd rolled a 4 or a 6 or something, those would have been pretty much wasted once you got to that square. But when you get to the square, let's say it's the red guy that got there, you would be able to take a mission card, look at it. If you accepted the mission, you'd put it here. If you didn't want it or couldn't accept it for some reason, then it would go on the bottom of the stack. And on your next turn, your second turn at the bar, you would be able to pick a new mission. If you were not able to accept it and you had to discard it on the next turn or wanted to discard it, you would have to go to one of the other 2 bar hexes on the board in order to obtain a new mission. There are 2 types of missions: standard missions and priority missions. Standard missions involve performing tasks or errands. You must fly to various star systems and complete all instructions on the card to receive payment. You also get to keep this card face down near your ship card. For at the end of the game, you can count up your acclaim points to see who's the winner. Then there are priority missions, like this one. These are missions of special importance. You may only accept one of these if you currently have no other mission. Likewise, you may not accept another mission if you've already accepted a priority mission. These priority missions involve defeating a mission opponent. When you accept one of these missions, place a purple ship token, wooden purple disc on the board at the relevant star system or location to represent the opponent. Once accepted, missions can only be removed from your card by completing the mission. You may only enter a bar sector to conduct mission business. Same with the star systems, which are the red hex here, the red hex with the name of the star system. It's not the actual star that it points at. The star system for the game purposes is the red circle, and you can only go here, go on one of these to conduct official mission business. Otherwise, they won't lower their shields to let you in. Likewise, the bars will not lower their shields if you've been in combat within the last turn. So if someone's attacking you, you need to, at least for one turn, get to a point where they couldn't reach you, and then on your next turn you could go to the bar. This mission here involves being idle for one turn. Anytime a mission where you're delayed for 1 or 2 turns, you'll take these timer chips and put them on your card as a visual reminder that you're delayed. So for the one turn after the one turn that you were delayed, you'll put the timer chip back. Mercenaries are sometimes encountered at starbase bars when trying to acquire missions. mercenaries can be hired for a price. In this case, 180 credits. The purchaser immediately takes possession of the corresponding mercenary card ship, places an orange disc token on the board next to their ship, and will control the ship immediately after her turn until either the mercenary ship completes an engagement with the player opponent or the player's ship is destroyed. Place blue cubes onto the mercenary card armor according to how many armor here. It says 3, where 6 is the attack, 8 is the defense, 8 is the speed, and part in the parentheses is the number of armor. If a player draws a mercenary card and either does not want to or cannot afford to hire the mercenary, the card goes to the bottom of the mission card stack, just like a refused mission would. The Scoundrel's Den is a hex on the game board that is a hideout for thieves, smugglers, ruffians, and the like. It is the perfect place to go to seek out a mercenary for hire. There are only 6 Scoundrel's Den cards at the beginning of the game, and 2 of them are mercenaries to hire. Whereas for the whole other mission card stack, there's only a maximum possible of 2 mercenaries. So if you go there, you get to draw a card. For this one, you just have to lose 20 credits. This will go at the bottom of the Scoundrel's Den deck. After you're done with your turn at the Scoundrel's Den, give the deck a quick shuffle each time. Now, on your next turn, you can stay here as many turns as you want, taking a card each time. This one is a mercenary for hire. If you can't hire the mercenary, it goes to the bottom of the stack. If you do hire this mercenary, Mad Dog, then discard this card, and that's out of the game for the rest of the game.